really struggle to finish book series. It doesn't matter if I've enjoyed the series or not, I'll either read the first 2 books in the series and take forever to get to the last book in the series, or I'll read the first 2 books and simply never finish the series at all. The books that I showed you at the start, they're only the ones that I currently own. That list, to my shame, is much longer. Look, I did a bunch of research on this like I usually do, and you know what I found? Absolutely nothing, which makes me think that maybe I'm alone in this. So I thought I'd put together a video anyway, just with my thoughts and feelings on the subject. But before I get into all of those, please let me know in the comments if you also struggle to finish book series, just so that I know I'm not alone. Alright, let's do this thing. Now, I'm gonna give a stab at why I think this happens. No science involved because there's nothing to point at. So if you see it yourself in any of this, let me know. So one of the reasons I feel like I don't finish book series is that I'm subconsciously afraid that I'll miss it once it's done. Now, as I said, I struggle to finish book series whether I'm enjoying them or not, but it doesn't make logical sense to not finish a book series, especially if I'm enjoying it and I already own the last book in the series. So in steps my theory. I'm subconsciously stalling because I don't want that post-book blues feeling. I don't want to say goodbye to the story or the characters, so I put off reading the last book in the series. I mean, how sad is that? I put off reading something that will bring me joy just because I don't want it to end. I can especially feel this in the case of V.E. Schwab's Shades of Magic series. I gave the first 2 books 4 stars, so I clearly enjoyed them, but I just can't bring myself to finish it. Okay, so my next theory is that I simply didn't enjoy the series enough to invest more time in it. This one feels kind of obvious. I mean, if you don't enjoy the series, then you're probably not going to want to finish it unless you're a glutton for punishment. But what if you read the first book in the series, but then the second book was really disappointing, so you're not sure if you want to carry on, but then everybody tells you that you should because it's an amazing series and the last book really makes up for it, but then you feel kind of cheated because you invested so much time in some really chunky books and you're not sure if you want to finish the series at all, but you feel guilty? What then? Well, for me, in that case, I put off reading the last book in the series and I just may never get to it. So it just sits on my shelf looking pretty, and every time I look at it, I just say, one day. Okay, moving on to the next theory in my list, and that is that I'm lazy. I've come to discover that I am quite a lazy reader. I often avoid longer books if I can, and if a book has a lot of multiple perspectives in it, sometimes I get a bit brain tired. So if a series is both long and has multiple perspectives, even if I am enjoying it, it's going to take me ages to finish it. And because I dread the long books, again, even if I'm enjoying them, I'll leave them sitting on my shelf until I finally give them the time of day. Now this next theory probably holds the most weight for me personally, and that is that I might be more excited by another book that's sitting on my shelf. I don't know about you, but there are loads of books that I want to read before I die, and I'm genuinely afraid that I won't be able to read them all before that time comes. The fact that this is actually true means that if I can stop reading a bad book or get to another book quicker, I will, especially if I'm excited about them. Which to me is kind of weird, especially when even if I'm enjoying a series and have just one more book to read, I'll be drawn to pick up a new book instead, especially if it's a standalone. Okay, this one's a doozy. I feel like I have to be in the right mood to dive back into a series. Now let's get into some mood reader problems because I may have a to-be read list, but if I'm not in the right mood to read a book on that list, then I'm just not going to get to it. I mean, what does in the right mood mean anyway? Not even I know that. So if I don't feel like I'm in the mood to finish a series, then it's going to take a long time for me to get to it. So in my mind, finishing a book series seems like a lot of effort, even though it's probably not a lot of effort at all. Maybe it's time to finish some of those book series.